Hi, this is Dr. Kunal Shah, Joint Replacement and Trauma Surgeon at Ashutosh Hospital, Vadodara. This video series is an initiative to motivate people to take up running as a sport for all its benefits. We all know that running is a great cardio workout, but it also boosts lungs capacity. When done over a long period of time, it increases bone mineral density and makes the bones stronger. It also improves overall muscular strength of the body. It is important because it releases endorphins, which are a major stress buster, and improves and decreases blood pressure. Also, running improves and increases our patience, especially long distance running, boosts self-confidence, and improves overall mental health. Vadodara International Marathon was incepted in 2009, and with it has grown the culture of running in our own city. We have got runners from our own city who follow their passion for running at different levels. They will help us understand the science behind long distance running, which will help us run longer, faster, and more importantly, injury free. The idea of this video series again is to inspire people to take up running and clear some common myths about marathon running.
I'm Dr. Kamal. I'm here to talk about few common myths about running which we all need to debunk. First, runners need to stretch. Now, static stretching before running is actually not good. I mean, it doesn't do any good to the muscles, and neither does it add any performance boost. In fact, I would say it is recommended to do some warm up and some dynamic stretching before running, which will help to fire up the muscle and prep up the muscles before the upcoming run. The second myth, which is again a very common myth, that runners don't need to strength train. Strength training is a basic thing which is required to maintain the muscle imbalances or avoid the muscle imbalances to strength. The strength training helps the to overcome the muscle imbalance and prevents injury. So it is highly recommended to lift weights and strength yourself and include a strength session during your training period. Runners, another important myth is that runners can eat anything and do whatever they want as far as they are running every day. Now, whatever you eat and whatever training you do and burn calories doesn't put your body into a calorie deficit state. So you have to put a check on what you are eating and eat a very nutritious and healthy diet to maintain and complement your running training. Runners don't require a strong upper body. Now, we all know while we run, we only use our lower body and legs. But yes, the upper body is equally important too. When one gets tired, the first thing to deteriorate is the posture or the form of running. So if you have a strong upper body, you can maintain the posture as well as maintain the strong upper arm swings, which complements and maintains your pace and good form of running. Now, running ruins your knees. That is true. Though, I mean, I agree that running is a high impact sport. But the knee pain which occurs during running is usually associated because of the weakness around the knee joint. So, if you strengthen the muscles around the knee joint, it definitely doesn't harm your knees. And in fact, there are several studies which shows that if you strengthen your muscles around the knee and keep running, then running does help strengthening your joint and your muscles. Runners don't walk. Now, try and tell this to Jeff Galloway, who is one of the renowned marathon trainer and a founder of Run, Walk, Run method of running. So, he says if you walk at a certain pace for a certain period, predetermined period, and run for the predetermined period, it definitely puts you away from injury and it can help you stay active for a longer time. And now the one of the common other myth is hydration or hydrate your running. Use a sports drink as a hydration drink during your run. Now, workouts which are less than 1 hour or a run which is less than 1 hour, it doesn't actually require any sports drink. It can be, complemented with a plain water. But yeah, anything beyond an hour does require a replacement of calories and electrolytes, and that which any common normal sports drink will suffice. This, I guess there are few common myths which I have covered. There are few more which, there are many in fact, but let's not put any age or fitness level or speed as any barrier to, stop you enjoy the benefits of running and enjoy the sport, running as a sport. So now lace your shoes, get out of the door and hit the street and start running. But please don't forget warm up before that. Thank you.
Hi friends, my name is Samir Gaikwad and we talked today about the running form. Now, what do you mean by running form? When you run, there are different styles of how you run. When you are a beginner, when your muscles aren't so developed, when you are not in your best physical shape, you tend to do many things wrong in a run. Have you ever seen a child running? How flawlessly and how effortlessly a child runs. So there is a fluidic movement when a child runs. But somehow when we grow up and as we become less sporty, we end up losing the form. So we will see in the few next takes and repeats where we'll find how the different ways how we run, typically what goes wrong. Now, the main point is, have we prepared our body to run? For some reason, when we are getting busy with our lives, we end up not being so fit, but still running is such an exercise which, when you go out, you just wear the shoe and try to run. And we end up doing many things wrong. And in the process, we lose out on how to run properly. And we end up picking up a lot of niggles, which eventually leads to injuries. So we need to be sure that you run correct and you run with a proper form. When you see most of us, when you run, we either run with our hands moving, swing on the side, or we run with a body, slouch position, shoulders up, and the feet coming with a big thud. So these are all the ways which are not right. These are the things which actually puts a lot of impact on your knees, on your feet, on your body becomes rigid, and in the end you become very stiff. So running longer distances becomes a problem. So how do you resolve that? How do you end up for having a nice form? So first and most important thing is to spend a lot of time ensuring that your upper body and your lower body is fit, your core is fit. So a preparation for a run is typically 80% is more time is spent on preparation and 20% just running. By just running more, you don't become a better runner. So always remember this. A lot of work to become a better runner goes behind the scenes, when you're not out on the road or not out on the treadmill or wherever you do your running from. So you have to work very hard on your other aspects, strength training, lower body, abs, core. These are very important, upper body, because all of this together brings your body in a perfect shape to run. You will find the change happening yourself. You can relate to any of these running types which we are trying to depict. and then try to compare it with how a running form should be, which we will see in the final running form. So my message is to first make your body fit and then concentrate on running. Remember, more running doesn't mean better running form. Proper training, proper strengthening leads to a proper running form. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Meghna Gandhi, and I have been running for the past 3 years. So now let's talk about injuries. We all know that injuries are a part and parcel of a runner's life. You're definitely going to have injuries, that's a promise. There are some very common injuries like IT band issues, a runner's knee, shin splints, sore feet, all of these. But you can alleviate or even prevent lots of these injuries by some very simple steps. Uh, all of these are out of personal experience. First one is pre and post run stretches. This is something that is really very, very much neglected by most of the runners. Stretches, especially post run, can really help you to keep lots of injuries at bay. The next thing is strengthening, muscle strengthening. Apart from just running, it is very important to strengthen the muscles. You should hit the gym or even maybe at home. It is good to have those strong muscles who can help you to take you further longer without getting tired and also not get injured. Another thing is not to focus on pace and mileage. It is very good to start slow and steady and build up as you go over it, like as you get more and more comfortable. I still remember my first 2 kilometers. They took forever. And now I can run 21 kilometers. A good thumb rule is not to increase mileage more than 10% a week. And that will really keep the injuries away. And last but not the least is recovery. It's good to have recovery. Let the muscles rest between two runs. Good nutrition, good diet, very good sleep, good comfortable footwear. All of these together will make sure that you're not injured and you're not you're not on the sidelines. So don't let these injuries bog you down, stop you. You will be injured, but go for it. Happy running.
Hi friends, this is Samir Gaikwad, and let's now talk about shoes. Now, most of us as amateur runners dwell a lot upon shoes. Shoes can cost anything from 2,000 rupees to 20,000 or more. All right, so let's talk about shoes and how do we decide on the shoes? There are so many different kind of shoes in the market, and typically people would like to know what is good for them. But without going into the brands, we'll try to see what the different kind of shoes which come, and typically a runner how they would decide a shoe for an amateur. Okay, there are shoes which people prefer having a good, nice, comfortable, soft. They should feel very nice and roomy inside. These are the kind of shoes which many people prefer in the beginning because they find it's very easy and it absorbs the so-called shock. Then there are the other shoes which has a bit of hard. They aren't very difficult. They are pretty, but these are meant for trails. If you are running not on the road, but if you are running out in the forest or uneven ground, then the trail shoes become easier. The trademark of trail shoes are that it has got a very stiff sole so that nothing pierces it. So these are the things, these are the shoes which go for trail. Again, for wet weather, or again in trails where you have shoes which has a bit of water wicking properties. So these are the kind of shoes which are also available in the market. There are some other shoes which are not very soft or comfortable, but they are lighter. They aren't very flexible, but they are lighter, and it's basically ensuring to have that you get a feedback. So these are the kind of shoes which you have. Some are radical shoes. These are called the negative toe to heel drop shoes. These are very radical. These are the sample sizes which I'm having, but nobody kind of uses this typically. Then there is a fashion of going barefoot. So this is something which comes in between going barefoot, which is just nothing but like a slipper, very light. You can wear this and run. And finally, there are something which are known as again, these are barefoot is nothing but socks with a kind of a good rubber sole, just to ensure you don't get hurt with stones or something like that on the road. But even the Vibram 5 fingers are also a part of this. So now let's talk about what we should not choose in the shoe. First and foremost, for an amateur, remember, when you go to buy a shoe, you should always go in the evening, because when you go in the evening, your feet are not, they are full of blood, they are a little swollen. That's what will happen typically when you go for a run. Your feet eventually, as you start running, they'll swell a bit. So you should have a fit which is ready for that swell. You shouldn't go out right first thing in the morning and go buy a shoe. We typically advise you to go and buy it in the evening. But when you go and try to find a shoe for your fit, always ensure that you do not have focus too much on the cushioning. Remember, the cushioning doesn't help take the impact properly. Remember, running is a form where you put in a force and you get a reaction force which will propel you forward. So you don't want a shoe to absorb that reaction force, which means you're putting more force on your foot to propel you ahead. So this eventually impacts your joints and your muscles if they aren't developed well. So don't go for too much of cushioning in a shoe. Go for a nice mid-level, mid-feel shoe. Ensure that it doesn't slide in through the, your feet doesn't slide inside the shoe, so that, don't hurt your toe. Ensure that, your laces also tie properly. They are not too loose. It shouldn't come out loose. It should be nice and snug and tight. So these are the things which are elements which are very important when you go try to find a shoe for yourself. Secondly, remember, running is not about shoes. Running is about keeping your feet strong. So focus on making your feet strong. And as you run more, ensure that, you will find that which is the right fit and the right shoe, which is important. Eventually, you will realize the lighter the shoe, the better it is for you. Thank you.
Hey guys, this is Maitri Talati. I'm going to talk today on 4 things: running in different weathers, running on different terrains, running in different places, and running and how it affects with age. In terms of the weather, if you look at running in Mumbai, it's very humid. It's significantly hotter compared to what you have in Gujarat. And it takes a lot of toll on your body, and you tend to lose a lot of salts. So a place like Mumbai, if you're doing a half marathon or a full marathon, I would keep on hydrating myself and take some sugar and salt during my race. Running in Ahmedabad and Baroda, it's much easier on your body because the weather is perfect. The temperature is about 14-15 degrees Celsius, and it's a great weather to run. Again, you have to hydrate yourself, but you don't tend to lose so much salt in Baroda. If you look at running in a place like outside India, for example, I've run in the US, in Philadelphia. The time zone is completely different and your body is not used to running in nights out here in India. When you run in the US in the mornings, it's going to be night here in India. It's again something that you have to get accustomed to. And I'm sure once you get acclimatized to such a thing for 4 or 5 days before the race, you can perform well in the race actually. Running on different terrains, I have run on trails, I've run on hard surfaces, concrete roads, and even on tar roads. I personally like running on the roads because it's much faster and I find it very easier on the legs. If you take running, for example, it's very hard on your muscles and you tend to have put in a lot more effort to cover the same distance. That way, running on trails is difficult. However, it's very easy on your feet and it's very easy on your knees as well. Because there is a lot of cushioning, natural cushioning, which is there on the surface, which is not there on a concrete or a tar surface. Talking about age, when I started running about 10, 12 years ago, my pace was much faster. I could complete my half marathons in 1 hour 45 minutes, 1 hour 50 minutes. As gradually, years have gone by, the pace has reduced, and today I've been able to complete my marathons and half marathons, particularly in 2 hours 15 minutes and 2 hours 10 minutes. That is the change, but since I enjoy running, I keep doing it. I don't care about the timings, but yes, with age, you do tend to the amount of the body's inherent ability to recover after long runs, it keeps on decreasing, and you have to give more time to your body till the next long run. Again, if you have any question on any of this topic, you can contact me. I'm there on the Facebook. Thank you guys for listening.
Today I'm here to give you brief insight on key things to do during tapering period for a marathon. There are two key things which have to be kept in mind for during this period. One is to retain your freshness and two is to regain your sharpness. So regain your sharpness as in regain your sharpness to get benefits from all your training period. Now one has to be, now this taper period depends upon two things. One is the race distance, as in if one is tapering for shorter distance and like 10 kilometer, 2 to 3 days are enough for the taper period. But at the same time, if you're tapering for a full marathon, then 2 to 3 weeks should be an ideal time to taper for this. And second point during this taper period is, it also depends upon the intensity and your intensity and duration of your training during your training period. So taper period should be according to the intensity and duration you have put in for your training period. Now one has to be a little watchful during this taper period. As in you have to have this three or few things in shape or in place. Like you have to catch up on your sleep adequately. Try and not eat something new, especially the street food or something. Don't try and put on some intense new workout during this period, and try and remain stress free during this period. Second important thing is you have to kind of plan and visit or recce the race thing. So try and visit the race course if possible. Try and visualize yourself running the same, and keep your mindset positive for the race period, and try and figure out what you're going to wear, eat, etc. As in before the day before the race, during on the day of the race. That will make your stress level much lower. Now during this period, when you have everything planned out, now the most important part comes is to set the goals for the race thing. So try and set few goals for this, realistic as well as the challenging goals for this, for yourself during this period. So you can have the performance goal as well as the process goal. As in performance goal, as in you can have some performance goal for your some time target or pace for the race, and to achieve this performance you should have this process goal, as in how are you going to fuel during the race, and how are you going to strategize your race, as in run, walk, strategy, or you're going to run during this period, or you're going to, if there is any terrain or if there is any uphill, then how are you going to plan your race during that period? And if you've lost the time during that period, how are you going to catch up on the time, especially during the downhill period? So these are the few things which you have to keep in mind when you are tapering yourself for the race. And the most important thing is you try and enjoy your race and the race day. Thank you.